Hi there, everyone. This is Sean 007 1986. I hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday. Alright, before I get into this video, I just got one thing I wanted to say. Okay? So, tomorrow I'm going to get my hands on Street Fighter 6. I'm probably going to get the Ultimate Edition, you know. So there's a good chance I might do a live stream of me playing World Tour. Now, whether or not y'all want to check that out, that'd be cool. Or if you want to see me just fighting some, I don't know, normal battles, or maybe see me get my shit kicked in online matches. I mean, I could do that. I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna go down fighting. I'm gonna keep on, I'm gonna try to win the best of it. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Okay. All right. Now that that's same as telling out of the way, I want to talk about this whole situation. Man, I gotta love Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets, cause man, ever since they won the NBA championship, there has been a lot of salt. And this salt is too potent. Of course, as usual, there's also some critics who are coming out and they're showing their very racist tendencies against Nikola Jokic. Alright, Mom. Be safe. That was my mom. She just stepping out. But, yeah, it is what it always is. It's always that. And, of course, ESPN, I know, soccer, right, had decided to, whatever reason, post a very racist article about great white hopes with Nikola Jokic and Larry Bird. Now, I don't know why they had to put in my boy Larry Legend, man. That boy... Larry Bird is like one of the most iconic basketball players of all time. Plus, he's also one of the best shit talkers in the NBA. I mean, shit. I mean, the scary part about Larry Bird, he talks shit, but his game backs up the shit talk. Brooklyn, it sucks. I will fuck up an AAU team. I do not care. That's just your 7-foot ass. I'm sorry, I was watching the portal between Larry Bird and Kevin Durant. That shit was fun, man. But let me read this. I mean, this from Outkick. My boy Bobby Burak putting in that work. They need to pay that man. He's a legend. ESPN posts racist article about great white hopes, Nikola Jokic and Larry Bird. ESPN writer William C. Rodden has 35 followers on Twitter. Jesus, man, 35 followers? Shit, you ain't gonna get bitches off of that. He has never written anything particularly thought-provoking or credible. Oh yeah, it makes sense. He's a 73-year-old. He's a 73-year-old. A black man, and that's the problem. And a race grifter. And there's a reason why. Oh my god. I can't believe I went there. I can't believe I went there. I can't believe I went there. The premise of each article he prints is the same. White people are racist, and it's culture to spew racism back at them. Yes, because you can't be racist towards white people, which is the biggest pile of bullshit I ever heard in my motherfucking life, but that's not here, but that's just me. But, I'm gonna read this. In the sports media, you can last decades doing so, as long as you are committed. And committed Rodden is it. His latest op-ed shows just how dedicated he is to inciting unjust racial animosity. There it is. Jokic performance speaks for itself, but there are many more miles to travel before he sits with the greatness. More with, oh boy. Greatest of all time? Still mountain to climb. What an idiot. Nikola Jokic, unsurprisingly, was the target of the piece. ESPN ran it on its racial grievance vertical landscape and the NBA home space. In it, Rodden moans that white people elevate Jokic as the greatest of all time, as part of the Great White Hope. Okay, he won a title. I'll give him that. But to say he's the greatest centers of all time, not really. I mean, yeah, he put up those big, impressive numbers, and yeah, he managed to become the first player in NBA history to lead in points, rebounds, and assists throughout in a single playoffs, which is very impressive to say the least. But to say that he's the greatest center of all time, yeah, I pumped the brakes on that one. And this is coming from me, of all people. But you know, he writes, and I quote, "My issue is not with proclamations of Jokic's greatness, but with the premature coronation of Jokic as the greatest ever, the greatest of all time, the best center in the NBA has ever seen, the best of all time encompass a vast universe. It can only be assessed at the end of a career. There are many more miles to travel before Jokic sits atop Mount Everest with the greatest of all time." Well, I mean, we could say the same thing about LeBron James, but yeah, you won't touch that one now, would you? Perhaps you were wondering in your head who declared Jokic the greatest player or center of all time. That was our reaction as well. Unfortunately, nowhere in the 1,259-word article did Rodden said he didn't cite a single white person or a person even anointing Jokic as the greatest center, as the greatest of all time at anything. No, he just, it's the whole, just trust me, bro. Just trust me, bro. Yeah, he was pulling some bullshit out of his ass. Nor does a quick Google search to point any white person labeling Jokic as such. Frankly, no one calls Jokic the GOAT. Rodden made it up. He wrote an entire piece responding to a narrative that does not even exist. Such an exhilarating argument stands a single reference would not pass a 7th grade English class. No, it won't. Yet, it made it past ESPN's editorial team and placed among the site's most featured stories. Rodden fabricated in his head that white people calling Jokic the GOAT as a means to express his disapproval of a white player infringing on a majority black league. Yes, everyone knows that most of the NBA players in the league are black. There are some whites, there are some Hispanics, Asian, and international players. The radicalization of Jokic is the opposite of how it's framed. White people don't shower him with complaints. In fact, he's the most undercover superstar in decades. Even Dan Le Batard admitted it. Instead, black writers and former players covered Jokic with a negative connotation because he's white. Yep. Yeah, he was the most I remember back when he was drafted, that when he was getting drafted, ESPN just cut to a commercial to a Taco Bell commercial, which is very disrespectful to him. Well, Rodden, Kendrick Perkins, and Mark Jones are the avatars of the movement, using dog whistles to discredit Jokic's rise. He can't jump. He can't run. He can't dunk. Rodden, Perkins, and Jones tell consumers that white players overpraise Jokic in hopes their followers will abhor Jokic for being white as much as they do. And speaking of Perkins, Rodden dedicated several paragraphs defending Perkins for pressuring voters to prove they are not racist and vote for a black player over Jokic for MVP. That they did, voting for Joel Embiid despite an objectively inferior season. In March, Kendrick Perkins, the former NBA player turned television analyst, committed the unparalleled sin of suggesting that racism played a role of Jokic being pushed for a 3rd consecutive MVP title. Perkins mentioned stat padding, but the comment that put him in hot waters was that racism, the great white hopeism, contributed to Jokic's elevation. Perkins' assessment was not entirely wrong, and the intense pushback he received was evident that Perkins picked a familiar nerve of race and racism in the United States. A familiar nerve of race and racism in the United States, huh? Not quite. The pushback against Perkins was quite the opposite. Notice that Rodden doesn't mention that Perkins himself lied. See, Perkins told that white people account for 80% of NBA MVP voters. A lie so egregious his whole network had to correct it the following day. I want to correct something here for yesterday's show, said the network. When Kendrick Perkins said 80% of NBA voters for the MVP award are white, the NBA publicly announced voters each year, and after review, it is clear the panel is much more diverse than what is portrayed by Kendrick Perkins, and we wanted to make sure we collected that today. The number is closer to 55%. Some 20% are less than the white population. Any honest article profiling Perkins' case would have noted this doctrine of the only statistic he proved to make his case. Rodden also failed to cite any particular complaints against Perkins. Do you see a pattern here? The reason being that noting the backlash will reveal that Perkins didn't prick a nerve of racism. Rather, people were agitated because his case lacked substance. Perkins, Rodden, and other ESPN employees claim white voters used their bias to award white players with the MVP. Well, if that's true, the results will look quite differently than the reality. Just 5 of the last 34 MVP winners were white. Yeah, y'all didn't know that? Out of all the 34 MVP winners, the last 5 were white. The rest was black. Yet ESPN accused the voters of favoring white players. Rodden said the number of white winners makes his antenna goes up. Translation, 5 is too many for Rodden. He preferred fewer whites to take home the award. As with Perkins, who yelled on first day, it's past time to discuss the rise of white players winning MVP. Rodden, Perkins, and Jones think white boys can't hoop, and thus can only succeed with the help of white voters. Which is fun. Larry Bird is one of the 10 greatest NBA players of all time. His statistics, resume, and accomplishments affirm that beyond a reasonable debate. Yeah, I mean, he was the GOAT. Plus his battle between him and Magic, legendary. However, Rodden suggests in the same piece that Bird is only great for a white man. Really, he forced his negative portrayal of Bird into an article by citing black players foolishly and racistly diminished Bird. This is the point Detroit Pistons forward Dennis Rodman was trying to make after a heartbreaking loss to Larry Bird led Boston Celtics during the 1987 playoffs. 1987. Oh, 1987. Oh, right. I was still a newborn when that happened. After the game, Rodman would told reporters that Bird was very overrated and that he had won 3 straight MVPs only because he was right. Larry Bird is a very, very good basketball player, Rodman said, but if he was black, he'd be just another guy. Rodman's teammate Isaiah Thomas backed him up. I think Larry is a very, very good basketball player. He's an exceptional talent, but I would have to agree with Rodman. If he were black, he'd just be another good guy. Imagine how desperate one must be to turn to racist commentary as affirmation. Only a racist could conclude Bird was great only for a white boy. Finally, the piece refers to a study that says 82% of sports media is white and male. Thereby, athletes are routinely filtered through a white prism. Again, not quite. While white males do make up the bulk of beat writer positions, NBA players are filtered almost exclusively through a black prism. The white writers hold minimal influence over the conversation. They pale in comparison to the reach of an almost entirely black NBA TV media. That is true. Of the 2 NBA pregame shows on TNT and ESPN, all 6 analysts are black. The leading NBA commentators are as well. from Stephen A. Smith to Charles Barkley to Michael Wilbon. Nearly all of the analysts are black, from Perkins to Jalen Rose to Chris Webber to Richard Jefferson to Draymond Green. They are who set the tone and control the message. If they're prisms through which players are viewed. So when the majority black media attacks Jokic for being white, he's defenseless, and the white members of the media are, of course, mortified of pushing back. What do you think Adam Wojnarowski plans to counter? Here's one. Why do sports media people like Mark Jones and Kendrick Perkins have such a personal today for Jokic? It seems quite clear there is a racial component to it. At this point, you have to wonder if William Rodham is suffering from cognitive decline in his old age, or if he's just a racist. I'm going to say he's just racist, because, blacks can be racist. No need to don't try to pull that bullshit, oh, blacks can be racist. We can be racist, too. Give me a reason. I'll show you. It's hard to say. Because nothing he printed and ESPN promoted is accurate. White people do not call Jokic the GOAT. White players are not winning the MVP are suspiciously high rates. Larry Bird was not an average player. And more importantly, Jokic does not benefit from being white. Instead, being white is his greatest weakness. Jokic is the best player in basketball, but he receives not a quarter of the praise his predecessors who held said title did. No, it's not due to his international status either. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak, was covered graciously just 2 years before him. Pundits like Rodham, Perkins, and Jones dislike a white player surpassing their favorite black players in the NBA. Jokic is radicalized only because there's a wing of sports media bothered by the rise of a white man who can't jump but can hoop better than the rest. Hold on. Oh, that's it. Yeah, I feel like that's what it is. I feel like this writer is a total racist. And honestly, I think that's one of the main reasons is. Jokic committed the ultimate sin. The ultimate sin is him beating LeBron James. Yes, he beat LeBron James, who is one of the media's favorite basketball player of all time. And also, so he got a lot of heat for that. So that's one of the reasons why the media was pissed off about it. And he also beat the Miami Heat, where Kendrick Perkins was super pissed about it, which, by the way, fuck Kendrick Perkins. But what this writer wrote, who works at ESPN, he is wrong on so many levels. And the fact that ESPN's editorial team not only did not look at this and say, okay, maybe he's just bullshitting and so does racism. No, they ran with that story and put it on their feature story list. I mean, for fuck's sake, man. Like I said, all Nikola Jokic did was help the Nuggets win their first NBA title in franchise history. I mean, what the fuck do these idiots want the Nuggets to do? Just lie down and die after all the bullshit they had to suffer for 47 years? Of all the shit that the fans dealt with for 47 years? Oh no, they don't give a fuck about the Denver fans or anyone. All they care about is they want LeBron to win another fucking ring because they want to continue that bullshit ass GOAT debate between him and Michael Jordan, which we all know. Michael Jordan, which we all know, the ultimate GOAT was going to be hands down Michael Jordan. That's all. I mean, I'm not going to cap on that one. MJ will always be a better GOAT than this fake ass king LeBron James, and I know that for a fact. But yeah, this is so fucking stupid. And of course, this guy, of course he's not gonna apologize. I mean, what do you expect? They're not gonna. I mean, what the fuck are you gonna expect? He ain't gonna apologize. Why? I'll tell you why. Because he's black, he's old, and he's black, and so he gets away with that shit. and that right there just proves to, and that right there just shows to me that black people can't be racist. People don't. That right there just shows to me that black people can't be fucking racist. And to attack not only Nikola Jokic but Larry Legend is the most scumbag way to do it, man. It's the most scumbag way to do it. And also, you know what? I'm glad that Jokic won that Finals MVP. Yeah. Joel Embiid won an MVP because Kendrick Perkins fucked over Jokic. So Jokic was like saying, okay, I'll let him have that, but I'll get my ring. And he got his fucking ring. And he's got his fucking Finals MVP. And what did Joel Embiid got? He won an MVP. But his team got fucking swept. And he only shot 15 fucking points. Oh, but it's even Kim. Oh, and he also tossed his team under the bus when they. He also got his team. Tossed his team under the bus when they lost Game 7 against the Boston Celtics. But yet y'all say, oh, he's the best MVP over Jokic. Fuck out of here with that shit. But anywho, that's just my 2 cents of the whole thing is. But I'm gonna say this: fuck you, ESPN. Fuck you. Racist sacks of shit. But I want to know what you think on this. As always, be sure to leave a comment, like this video, subscribe to this channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss an update. Share with friends, share with your neighbors, share with others, and that's about it. Until next time, this is Sean 007 1986 signing off. Thank you for watching this video. Really means a lot, and I'll see you in the next one. Catch you later. Bye. This man helped Denver Nuggets win a championship for the first time in their franchise history, and these motherfuckers in the sports media can't handle that shit. Not everyone's gonna like LeBron, you motherfuckers.